Hello everyone, Chris Guthrie here, host of SellerCast, and in today's episode I speak with Idan, who's currently based in Israel, and has been selling on Amazon since the middle of 2014, so about a year and a half as of this recording, and he's got a 7-figure e-commerce business. He's been selling about $90,000 per month on Amazon, and after we finished our recording, he actually mentioned he was shooting for $200,000 per month by the end of the year, so he's doing very well, and the great part is that English is his second language, and so he leverages the talents of others, specifically people that are based in the US, to help with his listing creation, some content writing for him, and everything else like that, so he can focus on the strengths that he brings to the business, such as finding new products to expand and grow it. So overall, I really enjoyed this conversation with Idan, and if you aren't yet using the talents of others to help grow your business, and you're trying to do everything yourself, hopefully this will inspire you to consider working towards that direction. All right, let's start the show. Hello everyone, Chris Guthrie here, host of SellerCast, and in today's episode I have Idan all the way from Israel on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Most welcome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm excited that you're here. I'm thankful that you're able to make the time zone shift and you're here in live. So let's get into this. So we've already talked about your name. How long have you been selling on Amazon for?
I'm an Amazon seller for 7 years now.
Oh, that's great. And so I'm sure we'll get to it, but what were you doing before you started selling on Amazon? I want to come back to your Amazon sales experience and talk about that a little bit as well. But what were you doing before you started selling on Amazon?
I finished my master's degree in Australia back in 2007. And me and my wife were keen to come back to our paradise in Israel to raise our future kids. In Israel, I worked as a content manager for a well-established publisher in central Israel. But since me and my wife prefer the rural lifestyle over the urban lifestyle, we decided to move back to my birthplace. It's a small town, a kibbutz actually, if you know what a kibbutz is, in northern Israel, just by the Sea of Galilee. One of the projects I ran for that company was to establish their e-commerce business, and this is actually how I was introduced to Amazon.
Oh, that's great. So your work experience led you to some exposure to Amazon's platform. And so that's kind of how you got into doing it for yourself eventually.
Yeah.
That's great. And so then is that kind of what made you decide to start selling on Amazon? Or like you saw that there was potential because you're working on it for that company? Or was there something else that kind of triggered you to get going?
I started to sell on Amazon for that company. But at one point, I was not comfortable with the long hours I spent on the road, driving from where I live now to central Israel. So I had to find something that will make me, income without the need to drive hours to work and then back. So I've opened a merchant account on Amazon and eBay with the hope that this will be a secondary income for me. A few years later, Amazon today is my only source of income, independently.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we'll talk about your sales numbers as we get along here. So how many years now is it that you've been selling on Amazon full time?
Full time, 5 years. 5 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 5 years full time, but really I started to make serious money just in the last 1.5 years.
That's great. Okay, cool. So then if you've been selling on Amazon for that long a period of time, I got to assume that you were doing other things besides just selling private label products. Were you also reselling other products?
Yeah, well, I used to have over 7,000 listings on Amazon. I used to resell products using drop shipping services, and income was just not enough. Only after I joined the course 1.5 years ago, income became seriously. Today, I still have over 600 listings, but only 10 private labeling listings, making more than 97% of my entire Amazon business income.
That's great. So, with 10 private label listings doing, the vast majority, have you thought about just trying to get rid of those other listings as well? Or is it just an inventory thing where you just have them and you're letting them slowly sell out and then you'll be done with those?
I got rid for most of my previous listings. I just kept the listings that are sold by reliable merchant that I can trust them to ship on time and everything. But all those drop shipping listings it's time consuming because I have to I have to all the time to check what's going on with the packages and everything. Therefore, now I'm trying to sell only fulfillment by Amazon, using fulfillment by Amazon for this.
Yeah. So as you move forward, I mean, into this 2016 year, are you looking at potentially shutting those listings down over time, or not, or just kind of depends on, I guess, and if you can get them switched over to FBA?
I'm not going to switch them for FBA because the volume is not great.
Yeah.
But still going to keep it because I have two drop ship supplier that are very reliable and they ship on time and everything is good. So basically, I don't want to touch it. It's an extra $300 a month, so I don't want to touch it. I just keep it there.
Yeah. Okay. So then, what are the goals for your business? I mean, you've been exposed to the platform selling on Amazon years ago, but now you've been doing this full time on Amazon. Well, I've been selling full time for the last 5 years, and then Amazon is your primary income source for the last roughly year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But what are your goals for this business then?
Look, the main reason I started this e-commerce business was because I don't like to live in the city. And I had to find a creative way to make some money without giving up on the lifestyle I wanted for me and my family. So today I'm doing this for 4 reasons, actually. One is being able to spend more time with my family. I have a wife and 4 young kids. The youngest is 1-year-old. The oldest is 8-year-old. The second reason, to be able to live anywhere in the world without the need to be close to where I actually work. The third reason is for being able to travel with my family and still take care for my business. For example, this year, from mid-April to mid-May, I'm going to take my family to Italy, to a small village in southern Italy. We're going to Santa Maria di Castellabate. Yeah, and the fourth reason is for the money. So my goals, my main goal is to live the lifestyle that I wish for myself and for my family. It gives me a lot of independence. I think independence is my main goal.
That's great. So then, I mean, so you're doing well. You've been selling now for a while. How much time do you spend on your Amazon business every week? And now that it's your full-time thing, and then maybe you can talk about some of the parts that take up the most time for you.
Yeah. Well, today I spend about 30 hours a week on my Amazon business alone. I can tell you that 80% of the time is dedicated for business development. I like finding new products, to be inspired by other Amazon businesses, to educate myself with Amazon's readings, etc. So this is about 30 hours a week. This is what I spend in this business, and all the rest I spend on my family. It's demanding.
Yeah, no, that's 4 kids. I'm sure. So 80% of your time though, it's on business development. So then you're still primarily focused on just growing your overall business size. I mean, is there a point where you feel like that time might switch to more maintenance mode, or do you feel like that because the market's always evolving and changing, that you need to be able to launch more products a lot, and so you just that's kind of the goal, is just keep making sure you have new products, and so you're still going to keep that split on your time, 80% of it going to business development?
Yes. I think it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And so I'm trying to find the right product to work well for me. I really like the fact that I spend 80% of the time I like to spend on business development. If the product is not good and it sells well, then 50% of the time will go on customer service. And I don't think customer service is my goal. So I'm really trying to find a reliable and good products that will meet the expectations of the customers, to give them with all the data that they need to know about my products and everything. So I'll be focused in finding new products rather than taking care for problems or logistics issues, things like that. So 80% of my time is finding new products and being inspired by other Amazon businesses.
I like that. So, I mean, it's really very much focused on, you want to make sure you get the right products. I love that part. So that you can avoid doing, you don't want to sell a product that you end up having to do a bunch of customer service for, because then that will mess up your time where you have it split like this. So that's great. And that's how you've been able to get to those products as you have now. So that's great. Okay, so then let's talk about your order volume then, and maybe the size of your business. So I mean, did your time commitment increase, linearly as you added more sales, or how did things look as you kind of grew? You have 10 products now, but where are you at today, and can you talk us through a little bit of how that worked along the way?
Yeah, today I'm running a $1 million business annually. It's roughly 90K a month. And I have to tell you, it's less demanding than my previous dropshipping 150K a year business. So more sales doesn't linearly, is not necessarily more work. If you do things correctly with fulfillment by Amazon, then more sales is not necessarily more work.
That's great. And so 90K a month roughly now.
Yeah.
And less work than you had. I'm assuming that would be the case since, you had, I think you mentioned 6,000 listings before when you're doing drop shipping.
Yes, I had at one point I had even 70, 7,000
Yeah.
listings. Yeah, but
Okay,
it's
cool.
variations and things like that. I used to sell a lot of oil paintings, and I used to sell a lot of gun holsters. So
Oh,
the
interesting.
variation was there was variation, but it still was. It's not the quantity of the listings. I mean, I had 7,000 listings, and I had a 150K business a year.
Yeah.
Today I'm having a $1 million business a year, and it's less demanding, and I have a lot of time to invest back in my business rather than doing customer service and checking all the time what's going on with my orders and what's going on with the products and etc.
Yeah. So then what were some of the biggest mistakes that you made along the way? I mean, you can talk about, your past experience. You can talk about you've been private labeling, and maybe you can share what you've learned from those mistakes as well.
Yeah, the first thing I have to say is do not waste your time doing drop shipping. I mean, it's good, it's fun. If you find the right supplier, provider is okay, is excellent. But if you want to take it to the next step, waste your time doing drop shipping. And really, the basics in everything in life, learn from the people who know what they're doing. Don't be alone in this business. Always ask questions. Many e-commerce businesses, the owners of e-commerce businesses are trying to do everything alone. They become loner. I know few become loner. They try to struggle. There are many tools, but the main thing is like to learn from people who know what they're doing, and always to get the right consultant when needed, and that's it. Ask other people.
That's great. So let's talk a little bit about too. I mean, you discussed earlier some of the strategies that you use for finding products and how a lot of the time you spend on business development, and you're using that time to try and find products that are really good that aren't going to end up taking a lot of customer support time once you start selling them. So I think that part was interesting. I mean, what about when it comes to some of the other particulars of finding products? Do you have a specific category that you like to sell in? You don't have to mention if it's a category you sell in or not or anything like that, but is there a specific BSR range? Anything else that you can talk about?
Yeah, I can tell you that personally, I'm a great fan of home improvements. I pick up only products that I believe to have the potential to be good for the customers. When I'm searching a product, I'm trying to for a specific keyword. I think that the main product for the specific keyword should be at the neighbor of 1,000 to 2,000. The second and the third should be at the 3,000, 6,000 best-selling rate rank.
Okay. Is there anything else that you do when you come up with those? Are you only looking at those three metrics, or are you looking at other types of things when you're trying to decide on your product? Since you spend so much of your time looking at new products, what else are you doing when it comes to looking on Amazon? Are you looking at, or is it really just a lot of it coming down to, okay, now that you're in that category, you're looking at just everything possible?
Yeah, everything's possible. And as I told you before, I'm looking for products that will not require me to provide a lot of customer service. I mean, this is one of the main things. So first I'm trying to see what products are doing well on Amazon based on the best sellings rank. And then I'm trying to see what products will be reliable and will be useful. If it's a product that it's actually in used on a daily basis, then I think it's very important as well. A product that people use all year round and not seasonal products. Yeah, that's it. That's mainly it.
So what made you decide in this category? I mean, were there other categories that you tried out before and then you eventually stumbled upon and just started to focus on this one? And then maybe as a follow-up, are there categories that you tried before or just from your experience in the past that you would recommend others to avoid?
Well, I think electronic should be avoided because you don't want a product that has a short lifespan in terms of technology. But if you find something in that category that doesn't require, customer service or an update every now and then it's okay to go. All categories are good. I also sell a lot in outdoors, in the outdoors category.
Yeah, that's great. And so that was one question I actually had then. So are you only focused on the one category? It sounds like you mentioned you're focused on two different categories.
Yes, today I'm selling home improvements and sport and outdoors.
Okay. And then how are you distinguishing your products from your competitors?
Well, I'm trying not to look on what my competitors are doing. I'm trying to look at myself, trying to be the best. I'm trying to be the best in what I'm doing. If I'm selling something, I'm trying to sell the product that I know will be good for my customers, will give good value for the money, and that will meet the customers' expectations. That's it.
Yeah. And so then if you're still focused too on finding products and making sure that they're high quality, since that's really been a recurring theme of the conversation we've been having, you're obviously going to be spending probably a good chunk of your time sourcing products and getting a lot of samples. I mean, are you using Alibaba or do you have other types of sourcing strategies? And what do you do when you try and find these reliable suppliers?
I think I'm just trying to speak with them first. I think conversation is like the best way to assess the manufacturer that I'm after. I talk with them, I ask for samples, and that's it. And most of my products go to my photographer before I get it. And only if I need, I ship them to Israel so I can touch them. But I think I have a good quality control even if I'm not having the products with me.
Interesting. So is your photographer based in China then?
No, in the US.
Oh, okay. So you have the samples still sent to the US, but then your photographer can check.
Yes. This way I can see the product in good resolution. And this is a photographer that I trust, and we have like a relationship that goes beyond. He's not only my photographer; he's also my quality assurance.
That's great. So you don't have to share who your photographer is or anything like that. But how did you actually find your photographer? Was it just a connection through a friend, and then that's kind of how you found him, or was it a photographer service that you tried out, and then you asked them if they could also help with some of the quality control, just to look and see what the products look like as well?
Most of my stuff. I mean, most of my people I'm working with. I find them on Upwork, what used to be Elance. I found my photographer there. I found my copywriter there. I found my video editor over there. And during the time, if I think they're good, and if we, kind of find a new way to work together, then I consider them to be my team.
That's good. I like that. I mean, not a lot of people talk about using Upwork to find people that can help them with their business. At least they haven't. Well, they haven't mentioned it as much, I suppose, on this show. I suppose, but that's great. So then, what are some of the learning experiences that you came across when you've been working with these different suppliers?
Well, mainly, I mean, most of the suppliers, I mean, it's very basic. I tell them what I need, and we just have a small conversation about the quantities and expectations. And it's very straightforward. I mean, if I give it a go, then most of the time it's a product that I'm going to stick with. I mean, I never had like a mistake or something. So it's a business. It's a business relationship with them. Trust is a key factor. You cannot buy it. American suppliers tend not to trust me for my foreign accent when I just give them when I give them the first call. But after a few months, with the growing purchases, they trust any word I take out of my mouth. Really, at the very start, it was hard for me because English is not my first language. When I speak with American suppliers, for example, it's very hard to build the trust over the phone. But now I tell them, I give them example and references of other companies that I'm purchasing from on a monthly basis, and it's easier for me today. It's easier for me
That's great.
today. But trust is something that should be built over time.
Yeah, so you're able to, now that you've been working with other companies, you're able to then just say, hey, well, can you vouch for me for this other company because I'm looking at working with them as well. How many
Yes.
different primary suppliers you're working with now, and are you always looking for new suppliers, or are you trying to just get more products from the suppliers that you have at this point?
Wow, that's a good question. I'm not trying to find new suppliers all the time. I'm trying to find new products all the time. There is one supplier that is happened to manufacture in a niche that is very desirable for me, and therefore I have 6 different SKUs from the same supplier. So when that happens, it's like a gold mine, you know.
Yeah.
If you find a supplier that can manufacture many products for you. So I think also finding the right supplier is also, it's a gold mine really. If you find a good supplier, you want him to be able to manufacture you to your specifications and as many SKUs as you can.
Yeah, yeah. And so how are you controlling the quality of it? It sounds like you have your photographer in the US that's able to look at them. Are you using any other type of inspection service, or is it just that photographer that helps with some of the quality control check?
Yeah, the photographer, and I also read reviews. If it's on Alibaba, I think the reviews are very helpful. So also, I'm trying to find the same products that I find in Alibaba. I've tried to find the same products on eBay or Amazon or other e-commerce websites, and then I get the idea about its quality because I can read buyers' reviews. But sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just trust. I trust the manufacturer and I trust the specifications, and I send the products to Amazon, and then I trust Amazon's buyers and reviewers. If I get, for example, if there is a product that I used to get bad reviews on, I neglect it, and I try to find a better version or a different product.
I like that. That's a cool strategy where you're able to like look, find the products that are being offered on Alibaba, then find them being sold on Amazon, and then look at the reviews to see.
Yes. I think if you don't have to stick to large quantities, then I think this is actually a very very smart way to assess your product.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some of the launch strategies. Right, you launched your first product in the middle of 2014, right? Or is it 2015? I guess if you've been, or no, you've been selling for a year and a half. So yeah.
Yeah. It's July 2014. I launched
Okay.
my first product. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what strategies did you use to try and launch it? And then maybe how has that strategy changed for now that you're launching newer products and you've got 10 now?
Well, in the beginning, I really tried any possible trick I knew or a trick that I've been taught. I'm talking about using Amazon ads, Facebook ads, social network campaigns, email tools, promotion tools, press releases, giveaway, and everything really. Yeah, but now I think now I have contact list of Amazon top reviewers that purchasing my products for review with promo codes, and I use an email tool, promotion tool, URL boost tool that I found. And yeah, mainly those are the tools. I tend not to use all the tools. I'm trying to be to use just few tools and to be good at.
It's great. And so then what are some of the other challenges that you've run into when you've been trying to build this business? I mean, I think that the experiences you've had from selling in the past, and then also with managing so many different listings have prepared you well for being able to sell just, 10 products and have them do a bulk of your $1 million business in sales. But what are some other problems you've run into that you might be able to help share with others so they can keep them in mind as they go along?
Yeah, the main problem I think in this business is to be in stock. I'm still learning how not to be out of stock. It's almost impossible if you are dealing with limited budget, because what happens naturally that on Amazon, if a product sells well, then you know to order, then you know that the next order should be larger. It happens sometimes that after I'm launching the product, doing even better than I thought it would be, and then I'm out of stock because I'm not going to buy a lot of things. So I think the thing is to make sure that you're always in stock.
Yeah. Okay. And so it's just always like a similar problem I hear when I talk to people that are selling. So it's always, if you're doing well, then that always seems to be if that's the problem you're having, then that's a good problem to have. Where the primary problem is just they're not running out of stock. Do you have anyone working with you at this point then? I mean, you're doing 90K a month or so now on sales. So do you have anyone else that's helping you out besides your photographer?
I just gave the photographer as an example for how I do my quality assurance. My wife is a webmaster, is a designer, and she's my accountant actually. In addition, as I told you before, I use Upwork, previously known as Elance, to find occasional freelancer. Today, I have my freelancer team that includes a talented photographer, a copywriter, video editor, and content writer. So this is like my team, and with my wife, this is the team that I'm running my business with.
That's great. So I mean, you mentioned before that English is your second language. So is the content writer that you hired through Upwork, do they help you with the listings that you create as well, just to like double check the English?
Yes, I think. I found a very good copywriter. I just give him the specifications of the products. I give him an insight of who are the competition, and what are the highlights of the products, and he builds the listings. And then he writes the draft, and I go over it, and I give him corrections until we get to the right content.
Oh yeah. I said content writer, but I guess I meant to say copywriter. But yeah, okay, that's great. So that's how you're able to help come over that barrier. I think that's inspiring that you're based in Israel, you're selling in the US, you have freelancers when you need them that you hire through Upwork. Absolutely. And then they help fill in the gaps where your skills lack, or you just don't want to focus on your time on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's very good for me to know my limits. I know English is not. I know that I'm not speaking good English, and I will never be a good, copywriter in English. I mean, in Hebrew, I'm perfect. People can hire me, but since I'm not selling on Amazon in Hebrew, then I always prefer other people to do the professional work for me.
Yeah, that's great. And I think we're close to wrapping up here, but I wanted to ask just a few other things if you have the time. I did want to ask you too, if you're using any type of, if you're creating any websites for your brand. Do you have a website for your brand, or are you just primarily focused on Amazon?
I have two websites for two different brands. Yes.
Okay, great. And so are those driving any sales right now, or are they just mainly there for branding purposes in case people search for your brands on?
No. Currently, my website are using for only with checkout by Amazon, but it's a good place for my customers to go and find all the information they need, to find the database they need, to read the news. But the checkout is by Amazon alone.
That's great. And then I guess the only other question I had is if there's anything else that you wanted to add to wrap things up.
Well, I think that my advice to other sellers is not to be alone. If they need any information, they should ask. They should also always learn from other people. And yeah, and they have the beautiful thing about it, about this business, is that there are so many talented people out there. Use their skills. Really, I don't know how to write a good listing, but I know someone who writes amazing listings. I don't know how to take a photo, but there is someone else who's doing that for me. So I'm a manager of many freelancers, and this is how I built my business now. I'm not trying to do things on my own. I'm trying to hire the right people to do it for me.
That's an excellent takeaway. So if you're listening here and right now you're still doing everything in your business, take it from me, Don, and do not do that. Not continue doing everything yourself. So thank you again so much for coming on and sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Chris.
All right, and that was the episode with Idan. I think I'd like to just reiterate what Idan had to say throughout the conversation, that he's leveraging the skills of others that he's hired through Upwork to make up skill gaps that he doesn't have himself. And I think that even if you can do everything in your business, you really shouldn't be doing everything in your business. So you've probably heard it before, but if you're in that space right now, this could be another call for you to get going and try and get serious about hiring people to help grow your business. So hopefully enjoyed this conversation again. And if you have been enjoying these, please leave us a review by going to sellercast.com/iTunes. You can leave us a review there. If you're listening somewhere else, leave us a review on that platform as well. And thank you again so much for tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode.